Yo, what is up, guys? This is RizzyPOW, and this is going to be week 3 of the NPL, the National Pokeball League. We, of course, are the Phoenix and Floors, and today we're going to be taking on the Houston Toxapexans, coached by Trev CL, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Trev is a really good friend of mine. I've known him for such a long time. It's been like 2 years or something. But I've actually never beaten Trev in the format before, so this is gonna be kind of crazy. Hopefully, we can get a win right here. I've faced him in the past in the NPL. I believe it was season 4. It was a 4-0 loss, but it was actually a really close game. I almost had a bulk up Torrent T that almost swept, but like I had to get some sleep talk rolls and stuff. But he also did miss the Sacred Fire in that match, so there's a bit of hacks. Anyways, we also faced in the TBU where I actually just kind of got destroyed, and in the GPC, although I don't really count that GPC as a loss because that was actually during a time when my computer was broken, and I think I had to, my computer was all fucked up, and I built a team in 15 minutes, and that it didn't matter for me anymore because I couldn't have made playoffs, whereas Trev needed to win that match to make playoffs, and I kind of just didn't care. I didn't have time at that. It was a really busy time of my life, but yeah, so that's kind of crazy. We actually are going to be battling back to back. I haven't uploaded my UBC video yet, but it is also against Trev. So we're facing in week 3 of the week 3 of the UBC and the NPL, which is pretty cool. We did it actually back to back right after the NPL match. We did the UBC match, and I just didn't get a chance to record the UBC match for yesterday or for Friday when it was supposed to go up, and then I did end up rendering and everything and was ready to upload tomorrow. But what happened is that the video kind of got fucked up. I don't know what Camtasia did, and I couldn't have gotten it uploaded yesterday, and I don't know if I want to have 2 uploads today, so it might have already been uploaded today, but I'm not sure. Anyways, sorry for talking about all that. You guys probably don't care too much. If you guys want to skip to the actual battle, there will be a timestamp in the description, but I'm just going to go over the matchup real quick. So right when you look at Trev's team, he has the Finny, Weavile, Mega Glade, a ton of threats on his team. I really like Trev's team. There's a huge problem with it, though. I feel like he's very weak to hazards, as well as he has such a huge he has such a huge ground weakness, and Excadrill is really good in this matchup because his only ground immunity is Uxie, and obviously I have Mole Breaker for that. So there's some sets I was thinking about Earthblade sets like SD to break down Uxie. Scarf is an amazing win con versus him. Even Bandit is really good because it can 3-hit KO Uxie on the switch-in. He does have the option of running Silvally against me, but Silvally doesn't really take on Iron Heads from drills, so I don't really think he'll be bringing it. On top of that, like doesn't have the best matchup. Like if he brings it, it might be like max defense, max HP. I don't know. It can parting shot everywhere, but I don't feel like it has the best matchup. So that's something that looks really good against him. Also, spikes on Greninja look really good against him as well. Right, so on the surface, I was thinking that this is a really good matchup for me. I feel like my offense can out-offense his offense. His bulk isn't very good against me because I have some stuff like Clefable that can take advantage of like Blissey. Xurkitree is like alright versus me, but Scarf doesn't even outspeed Mega Aerodactyl. What else? The Blade is actually amazing versus me because it actually can pretty much kill everything on my team. SC is a really nice late game win condition, and it just takes hits from everything, and it fires off really hard hits in return. So that was scary, but on the surface I thought I had a pretty good matchup, and then I started looking a bit deeper into the matchup, and I realized that this matchup is very bad because he has stuff like Scarf Finny. Like offensive Finny is amazing versus my team. I was thinking that, and I also ended up seeing in every single mock battle I did, but Trev really likes his offensive Finny sets, and so I had a feeling there was a good chance he was going to be bringing like Scarf Finny versus me. I also thought Specs was a decent option versus me, but Scarf just gives him a nice late game win condition. It can just fire off a ton of hits. I don't have good switch-ins for it. The only thing that can really take 2 Moonblasts from it are Clefable and maybe like some defensive Mesprit. I mean, Lantern can kinda, but those mons aren't very likely to come, and still they get weakened very easily. So that's a problem. And on top of that, I have a very offensive kind of team, and I'm obviously really weak to weather because like hyper offensive teams are naturally weak to weathers, and he has a Torkoal and Victory Bell, and Victory Bell is insanely good against my team. It actually pretty much one-shots everything on my team except for KB, so that's kind of scary. Yeah. So Victory Bell, huge threat, and Scarfini, along with the Weavile and Mega Gallade, it kind of destroys my team. So I was looking at this matchup and I realized that this is a very bad matchup for me, with the weather along with Finny, like Scarfini, Weavile, Mega Gallade all kind of destroy my team, and he can outspeed my offense with the weather and with his fast offense like Scarfini and Weavile. So I knew this was going to be a really uphill, like this matchup was going to be really, really difficult for me, and I was going to have to build really carefully if I wanted to win. So first off, this is going to be one of my nice late game win conditions, and it can be a nice revenge killer for a lot of his team. I have a Scarf Drill, pretty good in the matchup, after some spikes damage, which I did end up bringing spikes. I'll show you later on my Greninja. After some spikes damage, I can Oko Mega Gallade. I actually will outspeed a potential Scarfini and be able to do a ton of damage to that. I am able to check Weavile, which is a huge threat. I actually didn't bring Blaziken to this, so like my only kind of switch in is Greninja, and even Blaziken isn't like a switch in, but at least can pivot into it, whereas Greninja doesn't even have like any bulk to pivot into Weavile's attacks. So very weak to Weavile, but this can at least check it, which is really nice. Mega Gallade, like this is going to do a ton of damage to Mega Gallade. I do have Toxic on this because I expect there to be a good chance that he does bring Uxie, like a defensive Uxie for rocks, to be able to take hits from stuff like Excadrill, as well as maybe Mega Aerodactyl, and I can Toxic that on the switch in potentially. Now I know he does have Misty Terrain, but Uxie is actually off the ground with Levitate, so Toxic will actually affect it in Mystery Terrain, which is really, really cool. I do have Spin on this as well because I do have two Mons weak to Hazards in KB, as well as Mega Aerodactyl, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Just have Iron Head to hit a potential Uxie, but I'm pretty much going to be spamming Earthquake this entire match. And Earthquake is literally the only real move I need. Rapid Spin is actually pretty important too, but these two moves are kind of filler. I was even thinking about putting Rocks over Toxic, but what's really nice about if I'm able to get a Toxic off on the Uxie, it means that whenever it comes in to get up Rocks, I can send in my Drill and not fear clicking Rapid Spin, because if he is going to stay in, he's going to be taking consistent toxic damage, and he's just going to get weakened really, really quickly. It's going to be really nice for my other Mons. It's going to make KB be able to deal with it a lot easier, and it won't really be able to 1v1 my Mega Aerodactyl, and even my Clef set. Clef really appreciates Uxie getting toxic. You'll see this set in a sec. But I'm actually bringing double Scarfers this week. This is mostly for Victory Bell. Choice Scarf, Timid Gengar actually outspeeds Modest Victory Bell in the sun. So he could run Timid, but if he runs Timid, like he doesn't have as much damage output. He's not gonna be able to Oko Mega Aerodactyl. He's going to do literally nothing to KB, and I just really think he needs to be Modest or some plus special attack boosting nature. So I got this thing right here. It even has Cursed Body, so that's going to be kind of nice, you know, maybe for a potential Scarf. Finny, he doesn't have switches to this at all. As I said, this thing can potentially beat Blissey, like if I'm some sub Pain Split set or Taunt Pain Split. I even have a Trick in case he does bring the Blissey. For that, I have Psychic pretty much just to Oko the Victory Bell after one layer of spikes or a Life Orb hit. And he doesn't have any, he doesn't have any switch into this. I can pivot in on a Moonblast from Finny and just be able to fire off a huge hit, because it's going to hit something really, really hard. It's also nice to hit Nidoqueen a bit, but yeah, that's pretty much it with this set. We're going to go on to my KB. So I actually have a really Spadef invested KB. Earth Power is pretty much there for like the Blade, and I was really thinking about bringing like some Spadefish like Dragonium Z Dragon Claw for his team because that allows me to deal with his bulk. I can 2-hit KO Blissey with Z Dragon Claw plus Dragon Claw. Allows me to get a ton of damage on Uxie. But I decided in the end, Chapel Berry is just going to be nicer because Mega Glade kind of destroys me. It's good for Weavile. But yeah, Mega Glade is the main issue with it. And I can get a lot of damage off taking a close combo and Dragon Claw it. So that's really nice. The Spadef allows me to take on stuff like Nidoqueen. It allows me to take on his... what else does it take on? It helps me take on Xurkitree. This thing actually doesn't get 2-hit KO by Dazzling Gleam, which is kind of crazy. With all this HP investment, I don't think that Life Orb Icicle Crash from Weavile can actually 2-hit KO me, which is kind of crazy as well. Finny does, if it's offensive Finny, it does barely over half with Moonblast. And it also is going to be able to check the Victory Bell really well because I have so much Spadef investment. I only take like 40% from a modest Sludge Bomb. So that's really nice. My next set that I am going to bring is actually a Sash Ninja. So I was debating between like... I was thinking something like Life Orb here, but I think Sash is just better. His only forms of removal are Tapu Fini as well as Torkoal. So Fini, one, I feel like it's going to be offensive this week, so he'll probably be Scarf Defog, but he loses a ton of momentum by defogging. Like he can pretty much get a kill with it every time he comes in. If I allow him, like if I allow him to get a hit off, he's going to be able to get a kill if he predicts right. And if he does defog, he's giving me a free switch into something that can revenge kill him, and he's locking himself into that as well, so I can predict around that, like predict him to switch and get a huge hit off because I'm pretty sure he's going to be running a very hyper offensive team. Maybe Torkoal as his only like defensive backbone, maybe with Deblade as well. Making like kind of like a nice kind of core potential Uxie, but I think that it's going to be either Uxie or Deblade that comes. So yeah, this thing is just a spike set. Gunk Shot obviously is going to be able to beat his defogger in Tapu Fini, and if he brings Torkoal as his hazard removal, Torkoal just gets pressured so easily. It's going to, like, if he needs to bring Torkoal to spin, I can take advantage of that. Like, he's going to get weakened by hazards so easily. He's not going to have leftovers because he's most likely going to have Heat Rock for the Victory Bell, and it's just going to get weakened really quickly, and I just don't think it's a good defogger at all. But it's not a good defogger. It's not a good rapid spinner is what I meant. But this thing, I'm guaranteed to get a layer or two of spikes up. His whole team is pretty much grounded, so that's going to be really nice if he's not able to get rid of them. And my next one is going to be Mega Aerodactyl. And I just have a really offensive Mega Aerodactyl. No, I was thinking about running some sort of fat set, but I think just offensive is the best way to go. Stealth Rock's 3 attacks. So this is my rocker. I'll show you my Clefable set in a sec. But I couldn't afford rocks on Clefable, and you'll see why in a second. So this thing is able to get up rocks against his team. It's not a very reliable rocker, but I should be able to get up at some point. It also gives me a really good check to Mega Gallade. As you can see, I actually have a lot for Mega Gallade. I have a Sash Ninja that 2-hit KOs it with Waterfall. Waterfall is also just really nice because it does a bit more to Blissey than Hydro Pump. I don't have to risk a miss. It also does a bit more to Mega Gallade without having to risk a Hydro Pump miss. So that's really cool. But yeah, so I can deal with Mega Gallade in many ways, like Scarf, like Gengar Scarf should be able to outspeed it. He'll probably be Shadow Sneak, but I don't get Oak from full, so if I don't need to take useless damage, like I don't want to pivot into Finny's Moonblast a ton because I don't want to put myself in range of Shadow Sneak from Mega Gallade, but I can pivot at least once or twice without, or pretty much just only once without putting myself in range of the Shadow Sneak. So like this thing is able to deal with it. Scarf Drill out speeds and is able to fire off a huge EQ, doing about 60 to 70% to it. I have Chopple on KB, and I can just Dragon Claw it after. Sash Ninja, obviously. Oh, I don't want to go into that. But and also Mega Aerodactyl outspeeds and can kill it with a Wing Attack. Crunch is just really nice for Uxie if he tries to switch into that because it's doing about like 40%, and I can just weaken that because that might be his rocker. It also might be his only switch into drill. And the sooner I weaken that, the closer I am to winning with drill. So that's really good. It also allows me to like check circuitry and stuff. And yeah, my last mon is going to be Clefable. I already showed this in a second ago, but this is a pretty interesting Clefable. So this thing is to help me check a lot of his offense, especially Mega Glade. I can switch into Mega Glade and I have the Kebia Berry, and after a Cosmic Power, Poison Jab actually will not be able to 2-KO me. So I can just actually Cosmic Power up on him, and after a Cosmic Power, Iron Head from Deblade can't 2-KO me. I'm unaware, so it can't even SD up on me. Same with Glade, it can't SD up on me, even though I feel like there's a good chance he might just be 4 attacks. Although SD is a pretty decent set because it gets Poison Jab to 2-KO a normal Clef set, and after that, SD kind of wrecks me. But Cosmic Power is just, it can beat his team late game against his offense. So if he has something like Tapu Fini, Weavile, maybe Mega Glade, and yeah, like if those are his last 3 mons, Cosmic Power Clef wins because it beats Fini 1v1. I can Moonlight up on it. Also, what's really nice about Moonlight is that if he does bring Sun, my Moonlights actually get boosted, which is pretty cool. But after a Cosmic Power, Fini's not doing anything to me. Ice Skull Crash from Weavile isn't going to be able to 2-KO me. Glade isn't going to be able to beat me. I even will be able to beat the Blade because I Fire Blast to 2-KO that thing, and it can't 2-KO me after I get 1 Cosmic Power up, and I will be able to outspeed it. So this is a really nice late game win condition, and after I weaken his team and get rid of some stuff like potentially a Toxic Uxie, a Torkoal would also, if I can weaken Torkoal, that's probably the biggest threat to this thing, because it can be like Toxic Torkoal or something like Clear Smog to try and beat me. So that's pretty much a team. I know I took a long time doing this team reviewer, just like going over my team, but I spent a ton of time in this team. I was pretty sure I was going to lose this game because my matchup is really awful. Like the combination of Weavile, Mega Glade, Scarf Fini, and Victory Bell kind of destroy my core. Not just my core, it just destroys my team, and I don't have like, I have a lot of versatility with my offense, but I don't have a lot of versatility when it comes to my bulk. So it's really difficult for me to deal with stuff like that. But anyways, this is my team. I hope you guys enjoy the team builder, and we'll get right into the battle. Peace. Alright, we are back with the actual battle up against Trev. Also, something that I did notice, or something I forgot to say in the team builder, if you guys did watch it, is that this team is very, very weak to Blissey. I know that. I just really didn't expect Blissey to come with, you know, it's not able to wall like KB. Clefable uses it as setup fodder. Greninja, they can kind of wall Greninja. Greninja can carry low kick for it. It can also set up spikes all over it. It's not going to be able to wall like a banded drill or a setup drill. Gengar can obviously beat it 1v1. It's not going to be good against Breloom. It can be kind of good against Mega Aerodactyl, although Mega Aerodactyl can carry Taunt. It doesn't really, like, it can deal with Mesprit, but, like, who cares about Mesprit? It can deal with Lantern, and then Blaziken is going to be able to just one-shot it. So I really didn't expect Blaziken to come. If it did come, I did have Trick Gengar in the back to potentially trick it, like, mid-game or something. I probably wouldn't reveal it right away, but as you can see, he didn't actually end up being Blissey, so that's kind of a relief. But he did bring his Sun Core, which is so scary. And as you can see, it kind of destroys everything on my team. It kills Gengar with Weather Ball. It'll kill Drill with Weather Ball. It kills my Greninja with Solar Beam. It's going to kill Clefable with Sludge Bomb. It actually also kills Mega Aerodactyl with Solar Beam. So it can even 2-KO many KB sets, but I'm running a Spidef set, so that's really nice. And I do have Scarf Gengar with Psychic to be able to check that after it takes 1 Life Orb hit, or is able to take Stealth Rock or Spike damage. So that's really nice. So right here, as you can see, he didn't bring the Uxie, which is really nice. I'm thinking that his rocker is probably going to be the Torkoal. He's most likely going to be Scarf Fini. Weavile and Mega Glade, this combo kind of super scary versus my team. But I do have my Scarfers to be able to revenge that, and my team I feel like is very well built for his Mega Glade. I also have Kebia Fire Blast on my Clefable if that ends up being a problem with Victory Bell. And yeah, so let's just get into the battle. I'm gonna actually lead off with my Greninja, because if he does lead off with Finny, I'm going to actually just go hard Gengar, expecting a Scarf Moonblast, and then I can get a huge hit off something. Nothing wants to take a hit from Gengar like a Shadow Ball. He doesn't have anything to take a Shadow Ball except Weavile. I don't think he's switching Weavile hard on the Gengar when my obvious play is Sludge Wave. Yeah, Greninja is really good versus the rest of his team. Victory Bell, if he leads off with it, he's not going to have Sun right away. I'm stashed, so I'll be able to take only one hit and do a lot of damage to it. Torkoal, I can get up a Spike versus, and I can even just start Dark Pulsing and weakening that thing. I should be able to deal with Mega Gallade 1v1. I can weaken Weavile, though I don't think he'll lead off with Weavile, and I get a ton of damage off on Doublade. But just going to lead off with it, trying to get some spikes up, as he actually leads off with a Torkoal. So this is really interesting. I didn't expect the Torkoal lead, even though it does. It is his rocker, because if he allows me to weaken this, this might be good late. It's good to weaken this late game to not allow Victory Bell to be such a huge problem. So I'm just going to get up a Layer Spike first, as he gets up his rocks. These Layer Spikes is going to be really good versus team. His whole team is grounded, so that's really nice. Drill is also looking super good versus team because he didn't bring Uxie, so definitely an immediate win con. If I can get rid of his Sun Core, it's going to be really good for Drill, because nothing's going to be able to outspeed it after that. So I'm just going to go for a Dark Pulse after that, and I actually flinch him, which is kind of big. So I'm going to go for another Dark Pulse, and I flinch him again. So what Trev was doing right here, he was going for Lava Plume both times. His play, he was just trying to break my Sash, because break a potential Sash. He didn't know whether I was Sash, but the way I led off with it, Sash was definitely a decent item. So right here, I'm just going to go for Dark Pulse again. I did flinch him twice, which really sucks, and his Sunsetter is now really weakened, so that's really good, because Victory Bell isn't going to be as huge of a problem, because he's only going to be able to get these Sun turns up. He's only going to have these turns of Sun, and then he's only going to be able to switch in Torkoal one more time to sack it off for Sun damage, because he's so weakened. If I get Rocks up, he's not even going to be able to do that. So it's really important that Torkoal is weakened. I'm just going to fire off another Dark Pulse, and he actually switches into Hardness Finny. So this is a pretty obvious Scarf Finny. I'm just going to Gunk Shot right here, knowing that he's Scarf. All I really wanted was 1 layer of Spikes, because it just puts a ton of pressure on his team. 2 layer Spikes don't do a ton. If I can get 3 layers, that's nice, but I don't really mind just having 1 layer of Spikes. So I'm just going to go for a Gunk Shot right here. It's actually like a mid-roll to be able to Oaklam it from this range, since I'm not Life Orb or anything, and I actually do get that roll. So this is kind of huge. Those flinches really suck, because that would have meant that his Torkoal was a bit more healthy, and Finny would have not died like that, which really sucks. But we'll see later in the game. He might get some revenge hacks. I'm just foreshadowing some stuff, you know. But yeah, this was a pretty hacksy game. I'll just warn you guys right now. I did get the flinches, which really sucked. But right now, he's going to go out into his Victory Bell, and I'm just going to sack off Ninja. It's my bet. I don't have any switch into this, and I'm just going to go hard into Gengar. Now, I got really surprised by this, you'll see. So I'm just going to go for Psychic. He's in range after he took a layer of Spikes, and I can just kill him off with Psychic as he reveals Sucker Punch. So I didn't actually expect that, and that was insane. I'm now in range to die from Rocks, so that really sucks, because this thing is really nice versus the rest of his team. Shadow Sneak on... he's going to be able to revenge kill me with Shadow Sneak right here. I was really, really close to switching out into... I was really close to switching out into something like, what was I thinking about switching into? Something like Drill, or even Clefable. Actually, Clefable was the main thing I was thinking about switching out into right here on the obvious Shadow Sneak. But I want to do that just in case he did decide to go for like Zen Headbutt or something. Or Poison Jab, because I'm pretty sure Poison Jab would have killed me at this range, because he probably knows that I'm locked in Psychic. He obviously doesn't know if I do outspeed his Victory Bell, because he had Sucker Punch. But he's yeah, so I'm locked into Psychic. I'm not doing much to Gallade, but so I decided to stay in because I was locked into Psychic, and I didn't want him to predict me to switch out or something like that. But I explained that pretty badly. But I'm just gonna go to Clef right now, and just looking at his team, Torkoal being weakened is really, really huge. At this point, he's in range to die from a Moonblast after Spikes. and Victory Bell is also gone, which means that Cosmic Power Clefable can actually win, because if I get a Cosmic Power up, he cannot 2-hit KO me with Mega Gallade. Weavile is not going to be a 2-hit KO me. He can flinch me with what is it? Can flinch me with like potential Icicle Crashes, and Double A is not going to be able to 2-hit KO me with Iron Head, and I can just Fire Blast that thing twice. So I'm going to make a kind of a misplay right here and go for the Cosmic Power. You'll see. I probably should have just gone for Moonblast straight away and gotten damage off on Gallade to put it in range of Earthquake from my drill, and I ended up not doing that, and I just decided to go for a Cosmic Power right here, trying to go for a game as I'm going to start soft boiling up and stuff, moonlighting up actually, and he eventually does get a poison off. I'm just going to spam Moonlight right here as he does get his poison off. And this is kind of an issue. So right here, I'm thinking that now I'm poisoned, and if I keep on moonlighting, he might eventually crit me, and then I will have a very difficult time in winning this game. I really need Moonblast damage off on this thing, and I probably should have tried not to set up Cosmic Powers on the Mega Gallade because of the potential poison, because it's getting really scary. I'm going to have to spam Moonlight for a little bit. I only have 8 PP on Moonlight, and he can potentially... He's not going to be able to beat it 1v1, but if he is able to crit, I am going to be in a really bad position. So right here, I decide to say, fuck it. I don't need to win with Cosmic Power Clef. My plan is to win with Scarf Drill, and I need to get Moonblast damage off. So I'm going to go for... Oh, actually, I don't do it just yet. Never mind. I hyped it all up for nothing, but I'm Moonlighting right here, and I think this is the turn where I go for Moonblast, and I actually get crit the turn I go for Moonblast. So I know I was spamming Moonlight, but that crit really sucked, and I don't know, I think it was bigger than the flinches on Torkoal. It was because if I didn't get crit right there, I think I would have been able to win this game straight up. If like Cosmic Power Clef obviously did win, but it allowed my drill to also win. So right here, he's not in range of drill after a layer of spike, so that's kind of an issue. So I'm not in a good position right now. I'm going to have to weaken Gallade to win, as well as get some damage on Double A. So that's my win condition right now, as I'm just going to go out into my Mega Aerodactyl because I know I can check this thing, and I'm just going to go straight up for a wing attack. He's going to decide to sack off his Torkoal, which was a good play. I was really close to clicking Crunch right there, but I decided not to, as right here I'm going to click the Crunch, and it's going to do a lot of damage. This puts him in range of Earthquake from my Excadrill, so I can potentially win with that. I just need to get some more damage off on his Gallade, and I can win with Drill. And right here, I decided to go out into my KB because I know that Earth Power will be able to kill this thing, as he gets just some Shadow Sneak damage off, and if he goes out into his Mega Gallade right here, goes for close combat, and I eat my Chople Berry, actually I'm going to be able to win this game and win with Scarf Drill, because that Dragon Claw, I don't know if it'll kill him from that range, but it'll put him in range of Scarf Drill, and I can just win with that. Although he makes a smarter play, and he goes on to Weavile, and is just going to knock me off just in case I am Chople Berry, and that was a smart play. I'm going to be able to kill his Weavile with my KB, and now he's just going to be able to go into Gallade, and Gallade is out of range from Scarf Drill. And right here I could have actually clicked Iron Head because I do have Mold Breaker, and I could have flinched through Inner Focus because of Mold Breaker, but I forget about that, and I go for the crit with Earthquake, and I get actually a pretty decently high roll, but I'm not going to be able to kill the Mega Gallade. So this ended up being a super close match. I definitely feel that I misplayed when I did not go for Moonblast earlier with the Clefable, because there's a lot of hypotheticals. I'm going to go into them all right now. Like whether, if I didn't flinch those, if I didn't flinch that Torkoal, it would have been pretty huge for him because he would have had Victory Bell. Maybe not for longer, but he would have had more freedom with Victory Bell. He might have not gone out into it just then. He might have gone and Revenge Kill Me with Scarf Finny. It would have been just a completely different game, and it was just really annoying. So there's so much hacks in this game. The hypotheticals when it comes to him critting my Mega Gallade, or when it comes to him critting my Clefable right here. So he ended up critting my Clefable. So I remember me and me and Trev after the game were theory modding, and I was saying that right after this, if I did get Moonblast damage off, I would have gone hard into drill because, you know, that got a kill. So why wouldn't I go out into that? But that was just like instinct right there. Like, I didn't think about it, but if I did take some time to think after I did get some Moonblast damage off on him, because at the range that I was at, 2 poison jabs plus poison damage would have actually been able to OHKO my Clefable. So I would have Moonblasted, and then he would kill me with a second poison jab. So I'd have only gotten 1 Moonblast off on this Mega Glade, but it would have put him in range of Excadrill for later. What I would have done, I think with a better play in hindsight, maybe not going right into drill after I got some damage right over here if I didn't get crit. I could have gone right out into Mega Aerodactyl, and I could have just fired off a wing attack, which is what I ended up doing anyway. But the reason why that was probably my better play is because after Mega Glade got some Moonblast damage off on it, the only thing that's out of range of drill is his Doublade, and Mega Aerodactyl kills everything on Trev's team that is left besides Doublade, and it puts it into range of Doublade. So I wouldn't have guaranteed 1 still, I don't think, because what Trev could have done if he was smart is first over here, like, pretend that this Glade was weakened when I came in on it with the Mega Aerodactyl. Pretend it was weakened and already in range of drill. What he could have done was actually gone for Shadow Sneak right here, and then it would have been in range of Ice Shard from his Weavile, and that would have prevented him from having to take crunch damage with his Doublade. So he could have still potentially won. It wasn't a guaranteed win. It just came down to a lot of 50-50s. I don't really know how the game would have gone if either of those hacks happened, but it really prevented the game from happening the way it should have, and it really sucks because, again, the Mega Glade would have been in range. He could have gone for Shadow Sneak on my Mega Aerodactyl, put it in range of Ice Shard from Weavile, and then after that, what I would have done was I only would have had KB and Drill left. I would have gone Drill at that point. Yeah, I would have been forced to go into drill at that point. No, actually, what I would have been forced to go out into was, if I went drill after he revenge killed me with Weavile, if I went KB after revenge killed me with Weavile, he would have just knocked off, and he would have been able to get rid of my Chople Berry, and then just revenge kill me with Mega Glade. But if I did go drill after he checked my my Weavile, I could have just after Weavile checked Mega Aerodactyl, if I did go drill to check it, he could have just sacked off Weavile or Torkoal at that point, and at this point I think Mega Glade is dead because I killed it after he sacked it to a Shadow Sneak. This is all hypothetical. It's kind of hard to explain. I'm really sorry, guys. It's also kind of confusing me, but if he did like revenge kill with Weavile, I went out into drill, he would have probably sacked Doublade at that, or he would have sacked Torkoal at that point, so Mega Glade and Torkoal will both be dead. All he has is Weavile and Doublade. He would have been forced to go on a Weavile, and his play at that point would be Secret Sword. So I think at that point I would have gone out into my Kyurem Black, which is Chople Berry, which means I could have taken the Secret Sword and Earth Powered right there. But I don't know, like, it depends on how much Spikes damage and Life Orb damage Weavile had taken and whether or not it would have been in range of Earth Power, because if it was, he could have switched into that, and it might have came down to a 50-50. If he just decided to stay in with the Blade on my KB and I Earth Powered it, I would have put in range of Earthquake from my drill, and I would have been able to win the game. So I'm not sure if I was adamant and I didn't have any special attack investment, so I'm not sure if Weavile would have been able to live after it took some Life Orb damage from checking my Aerodactyl with Ice Shard and after 2 layers of Spikes. So it's really hard to tell what exactly would have happened. I don't know who would have won, but it really, it prevented the game from being what it should have been. Even these flinches sucked. Again, I said I can't really explain what would have happened if I didn't flinch his Torkoal, but yeah, it's just really hard to tell. And I know this video is super long because the team builder was really long, and now I made the battle really long, but it was a really important battle, and really sucks that it happened like this against Trev. We're now 2-1, but we only lost 1-0, so it was a really super close game. And I think we are at a plus. What are we at? I think we're at like a +3 differential because I think we won 2-0 against both Cheese and Seb, and then we lost 1-0 here. So we're 2-1 with a +3 differential, and next week we're going to be playing the Verd, and that's going to be an insane game because I think I have a terrible matchup against Verd as well, and Verd is an amazing player, so it's gonna be pretty crazy going up against him. I haven't gone up against him in the league format yet, but hopefully we can get a win next week. I really don't want to go 2-2. I want to stay positive, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.